We're joined by our in studio by reporter Linda Mnisi. Linda, good evening to you. So you have the discovery and the killing of 21 people, effectively, it seems, in the Krugersdorp area right now. Where were the police who were deployed there after those mass rapes that we saw, that we were told were going to stay in the area until a longer-term solution was found to address illegal mining?
Indeed, Kathy, you'll remember that the police were deployed to the area to make sure that they cracked down on, the illegal mining, but also the crimes that were taking place in that area. That decision followed, of course, an imbizo that took place, hosted by the police minister, Bheki Cele. But today I got an opportunity to speak to some of the residents about the impact that this, police force had on making sure that they restore law and order in the streets of Krugersdorp. And what they're saying to us is that they haven't seen them. They say that, there was no police force on the ground. And at the time when this issue was still hot, what they saw were illegal miners going into hiding, which made things a little bit more bearable in their community because, of course, there was a crackdown that was going on, but also the fact that it took quite some time for them to come back. But at this point, they're starting to see more and more of illegal miners coming back. In fact, one of the residents that I spoke to telling us, Kathy, that following the news of the withdrawal of those rape charges against those men who were in court, what they started seeing were more and more illegal miners coming back to their area.
I suppose this is one of the reasons why ordinary South Africans feel that they're constantly let down by our criminal justice system. So, Linda, what happens right now to communities who have to live literally within a stone throw distance away from the kind of violence that can lead to, again, mass killings that we are seeing? How is this impacting the community?
I think your question is interesting, Kathy, in that if you look at, that particular area, you look at West Village, which is right between, both these incidences. I'm talking about the gang rape incident as well as, the discovery of these bodies right on the side. In fact, residents are saying it's about 7 kilometers away from where they stay, and they're caught right in the middle, which then tells you how they must be feeling at this point. And what they were saying about, police visibility and police deployment also in the area is that they're watching closely what will happen in other communities, because they were hearing the police minister speak on television about what's going to happen in Finetown, the promises of the Red Berets going, of the Berets rather, Amaberete in fact, going to Finetown and being deployed to Finetown. And they're saying that when that deployment happens, it will be clear that their community is totally forgotten. So they're watching closely what government will do, but also saying that they're quite tired of the promises that are being made.
In as far as the police are concerned and their investigation, what are the leads that they're following? Again, we're seeing that police are very reactionary when it comes to these cases. Just over the last month, there was the discovery of bodies along the highway, the M1 in Johannesburg, and still no progress.
Yeah, at this point, what police are telling us is that they're investigating an inquest. So, there aren't any signs that the 21 bodies that were discovered could have been murdered. And what they're looking at possibly is, of course, coming back to continue with the more search and rescue operations. This gave us an opportunity to also speak to the local mayor, the Mogale City Mayor, Tyrone Gray, about what exactly he's getting from the mine owners, but also from the police. And he says, looking at the situation, it's quite clear that the 21 men could have drowned underground, because he speaks also about a shaft where, these illegal miners are able to enter and, of course, cross to other mines underground, a completely different world that many residents in that area are unaware of. But let's take a listen to what he thinks about the situation and why these search and rescue operations need to continue.
volume of individuals was more than the 21 that have been recovered in operating in the area. So it is likely probable. However, I can't say that that will be the case. However, we support the investigation, and inquest is going to be opened, and we will avail ourselves with whichever resources SAPS needs in order to finalize that investigation.
Of course, news of this nature, Kathy, it triggers a reaction from community members. What happens next? What has been happening in their community? How do they feel about what has happened so far? Let's take a listen.
Because makukhuluma something ngaphandle kumele uvuke ufonele umakhelwane umbuzo ukuthi usafe na. If ifone engayiphenduli then we get worried. So sesize safoma ukuthi kube nama WhatsApp group wezitrata nama WhatsApp group we-village yonke. Ukuthi if you see something or you hear something, then you have to raise the alarm.
All right, Linda, thanks for that update. We'll